Hey everyone, Joseph here with another Broker Minute, and I'm going to cover one that's a little different. I'm not going to jump into forms, I'm not going to jump anything. I just want to talk generally on what exactly a contract is. Because we've had some interesting issues come up where we've gotten into some conflict and then the contract can either be voided or voidable based on what's happening, or we realize we don't have an actually accepted contract. So I want to go through and I just want to kind of remind you of what the elements of a contract, actually a binding agreement, are, and then where we're seeing some pitfalls in the real estate industry lately. So we'll go through this first of all. What are the 5 key elements of a contract? Number 1 is offer and acceptance. Basically, you have mutual consent between 2 parties that want to get together on this contract. The second is consideration. Consideration is the monetary exchange for whatever you are receiving. In our case, consideration is going to be price, right? You're paying a price for the property, the buyer's paying, the seller's giving. That's basically what it means there. Now, one area that this comes up is people have tried to say that if an earnest money isn't turned in, if there is no earnest money, then there is no consideration. Earnest money is not consideration as it relates to a real estate contract. The third part, competent parties. We don't run into this too much. However, some of you might think that you run into it based on how clients are behaving, but competent parties are meaning that you have parties that are legally able to sign and get themselves bound to a contract. Fourth one is lawful objective, meaning it's for a legal reason. In our case, the legal reason is an exchange of real property in the state of South Carolina, so obviously that applies. And then last is that it is written and signed. So those are the 5 basic elements of it. What I want to cover really specifically today that we're seeing an issue is notice of acceptance. We've actually had this happen actually a handful of times over the last 2 months. So if you think I'm talking about you, I might be. However, I'm not picking on anyone because this has come to fruition. So you have an offer, you have an acceptance. Where we can get mixed up is actually the notice of acceptance. And in a traditional, without worry about going back and forth with negotiations, buyer submits an offer to seller signs off on it, says that I want it. As the listing agent, in order for that to be properly accepted, you actually have to send an email to the buyer's agent stating the sellers have accepted your offer. It is signed, and you want to attach it so they can see the signatures. What's happening right now is we're doing it verbally, we're sending a text, or we're saying, hey, we sent it to the sellers to sign, and then something's happening between that and when you actually receive as the buyer, or I should say the offering party. It could be a counter offer from the seller. But if you have not received an acceptance notice via email, and the reason I keep saying email is because email is what is accepted as notice per the contract. We're not talking about the legal precedents, right? We can talk all day long where saying it verbally or saying it in text and doing it, having a courier pigeon, all of those may be legally binding, but as the contract states on the last page, there is actually a delivery notice. So in order for a contract to be properly accepted, that acceptance and the signed contract must be signed to that delivery notice email. So it's something important on there. Here's where this shows up. Seller accepts an offer, or you send an offer to the seller. Seller says, I'm on it. Listing agent sends it to them, sends you a text and says, hey, it's in their inbox for signatures. They may even text you and say they signed it. And let's say that's at 7 o'clock at night. And the other agent who showed the property sends in a full price offer with no contingencies. From a legal standpoint, that seller is not bound to the contract, and they can actually rescind, or they actually don't even need to rescind at that point because they never accept it, and they can go accept the other offer. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm saying where we can get into legal trouble. So just wanted to keep you guys abreast of that. As always, if you have any questions or if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always here to answer them. Have a great day. Happy selling.